Everyone, welcome back to a new training batch. And we are going to start with our day one for Core Java. So, a lot to cover here. But before we get going, Java, day one. So, team, this training is primarily totally for beginners. So, I'm not expecting any prereqs. You can come in with a very open mind towards it. The most important part that I want to talk about is our journey towards learning Java. I think we've all heard this in many instances. Let me express. Java is easy when we read a book or watch a video. Gets a little bit more tricky when we start coding ourselves. So this journey everyone goes through, not specifically that, oh, you know what, this is a great or she's a great Java developer, but they've gone through this journey. And what happens is, unless we have a constant project or practice on coding with Java, we will tend to forget nonsense. So this is also very clear, team. If you learn Java now, maybe in 3 to 4 months, you may have to revisit it. So what is critical is take lot of notes, write lot of code. It will be easy to review when you need later. Fair enough? So in the training itself, team, what we will focus is the content. Make sure we get the foundation correctly for programming and all the key concepts that are there. So we have a training content. I don't want to reinvent the wheel in terms of what I want to teach within Java. I use w3schools.com as a good reference team that I advise to everyone. It's got plenty of tutorials by itself, and we are looking at scrolling down, learn Java. Now, I'm not saying that let us go there to learn, but the fact that let us use this as an index to make sure, hey, did we cover, for example, booleans? Did we go through arrays in detail? What's break continuous? So all the things that we see here, inheritance, polymorphism, we'll keep this as a benchmark to cover. And it'll also be a good reference later. Content. What else was there that I wrote it? So apart from this, so you have live training for 10 days. I'm assuming 7 to 10 days, team. Actually, I'll put it as 10 days because Python itself took a little bit more. From 6 to 7 p.m. Pacific time. I want you to participate, if possible, in a live project. We will do a lot of assignments, and I want you to look at how we build AnyAUT using Java. So that's a complete application automation framework that we built using Java. So how did we use that? This is what I want to cover, team. I think it will be a little aggressive for 10 days. Let's see. All videos will be on youtube.com/qtp-elearn. Actually, not all demo videos. All videos on IT-elearn. I will, along with source code. So whatever we write here, team, for each day we will create content, whatever we're doing. We will also create programs. So that will become a good library for you to take forward. So how we can go concept by concept and explain. Just as a quick reference, for example, the ongoing current Python, it's almost done. All right, so we spent some time going through different concepts that are necessary. We built a good one, team, so far. And these are the different codes that each are there. For example, the team can get a chance to quickly open up, go to any set of code, look at what we did, how we did assignments, and so on. Now, this was done on Python. We are doing similar thing on Java. Apart from this, on itlearn.com itself, we have plenty of other tutorials from previous batches of Java. Any questions, team, before we continue with the topic for today then? So team, do you have to know everything from Java? So primarily your objective should be clear. If let us say you want to be a Java developer, then look at it like a 6 months training. What I'm doing is 10 days, remember. You have to do a lot more projects, lot more advanced things. And also take the Oracle certified Java developer, and then it will make sense. If you want to be a Java architect who's much more into building the entire needed infrastructure on how the project should work, you're looking at an year plus of training itself. Again, this is project based. So you will see people who have 3-4 years Java development experience, then they get into slowly being an architect. They don't get into that immediately. If you want to be an automation engineer, in terms of SDET, QA, automation, and so on, then you're looking at 1 month. So what we're going to do, team, in this case, all the concepts that we learn in core Java, we will reapply for building automation frameworks using Selenium. So there we'll have ample number of practice. Now out here, the tool AnyAUT itself a little bit of Java development, so we will get exposure. So let's be clear on that. Who you want to be. If you want to be a Java developer, then you have to know everything in and out. There's no question about it. But even if you go to an interview as a Java automation engineer knowing Java, I think important to know all the concepts. Some from implementation perspective, some as what they mean. Maybe you did not get a chance to work on it. All right, so far everyone. Next steps. If you're good with it. I think when we're getting started, most importantly, we'll talk about what is Java and how do we install Java, how do we run Java programs. These are 3 most important questions, team, we can ask. And let us keep things very simple. I'm sure that for it being there in the market for such a long period of time, we all at least have come across the word and know basically that it's a programming language. Now, to what extent do we mean by programming? What does it do? We will talk about it later. It is open source. It's a programming language. You have a lot of users. That's a big thing. So what happens is, if you have very large number of users for a specific tool, technology, or programming language, then you'll get contributions. You will see that it is a very proven one. There won't be so many defects or issues. If there are issues, then it can be fixed because so many users are there. So that's a driving force team. Having a number of users becomes very critical. So it's still significant in how many users are there. And the fact that prior and future tasks are, you know, built. See, built on Java. So while there are competition like we get from C Sharp, .NET, Python, and so on, Java has its own strong market. Primarily, that is enough for us to go forward, because let us not focus on theory. It's all going to be very hands-on. So once we do these 3 steps, then it will become easy for us to get hands-on. How do we install Java? So that's the key important thing, team. What you're looking at in this case are 2 things. There is a Java runtime environment, also called as JRE, and there's a Java development kit. So this is a JDK, and it's also called as JDK standard editions and so on. Primarily, the first one is helping us to run programs, the second to develop. I want you to sometimes only know certain things to that extent, because we can expand that as we fill other gaps. It's very important for us to write our first program, so we'll focus there. So how do I get this? What you will need to do, and here is just Google team, you're not going to go anywhere else. Just say JDK download, and you will be able to get directed to the Oracle website, which hosts up the entire Java platform technology, and you can choose the download link out there. Now, I have observed team. So this is the, are you all there with me? I'm here, but let me go here. JDK download. See. Still asking me to sign up. If there are issues related to you didn't get the registration link and so on, can you please keep it away from our class, because it deviates me and I cannot assist you on that right now. If someone shared it, I don't know, I've been sharing it in Skype groups everywhere, so why you could not join specifically will be a question to me. So please focus your questions to what is relevant. If you have issues, write an email to us, or there is a Skype group. I'm assuming you're all active in there. So let's stick with that plan, team. Here is the Skype group also, so you don't get confused with anything there. Share link to join the group, copy to clipboard, and for our internal communications, this is Skype for com tech issues. Let's focus this session more on learning, team. So you basically are going to oracle.com, team, and the link there that we've just seen is hit on JDK download. Let's go to the main page. Just showing this. Just Java standard edition JDK. So we're looking for that and click on this JDK download here. It will ask me to sign up, team. Now, if you are a new user, please do sign up. But what you're basically doing is to get the latest version for your Windows or Mac. I'm looking at this. So there is installer or there is, .zip file. So .exe should be fine for us. I'm going to click on this team. It's going to take me to the sign in page. I don't have an account. Let me see if I can sign up. Check it. Are you able to? Do you want to do this parallelly or do you want to do it later, team? What I'm doing? Oh, it's downloading it. I didn't even sign in. That's good. Earlier, it took me to a login page where it was asking me to log in. Can you all check once what is happening at your end? I'm going to put that link here, team. So please, if you have an older version and it works, keep it. No problem. If we want to upgrade it, we will do it later. But if something is working, let's keep it, team. No problem if you have an older version. One second. If you have an older version, it's still going to download. I think it just finished, team. I'm going to install it. Let us finish this and see what happens. And while that is happening, let me explain what this Java development is. Let's see first. Few more steps. So the file size by itself was about 160 MB, right? And then we don't have the Eclipse. All of this is already there in my system, team. I'm just installing the latest version and that should be fine. So I'm clicking on next, it's basically asking me where I want you to install. I'm leaving it as program files, Java, JDK, that's good enough. Say next. Sorry. That's slow. Is it my system that's slow or it should work pretty fast? Okay, so while that is happening, as soon as I switch my windows, there is progress that's happening. To write, maintain, and run Java programs / projects, we're going to use Eclipse. Eclipse IDE. IDE is your integrated development environment. So team, honestly, till about a very later part, you have only two things to install: Java Development Kit and your Eclipse IDE. Okay, what is Eclipse IDE? We'll talk in a second. So it says all done. It's basically all set up and closed. To make sure if Java is correctly installed, team, what you do is go to command prompt. So here, go to cmd.exe, run, and type Java version. So anywhere in the folder it should be there. So I've opened command prompt by just hitting the Windows key and then just a cmd if you come in command prompt. And that's the application that lets you look at your file system, everything, all your operating system from a command prompt instead of using like a Windows Explorer and a Windows itself. Okay, so now what we're saying is Java hyphen version, and it should tell me which version of Java itself is there. So that basically tells me my Java is, it's got nothing to do with your overall JDK itself right now. But what version of my Java is there? My runtime environment is there. If this is working as is on your machine, I think then we're good to proceed. Now, Java installed, and this is done. And now we're looking at Eclipse. So what is Eclipse IDE? Where do we require that? So primarily team, how do I say this again? So it's, for us, we are a human, right? And Java as a programming language is pretty smart, and it can control your machine and do wonders for you. So all the applications that you want to build, the security and so on that you want to have, you can achieve it through Java. So this bond here is good. So it's set well. Java can talk nicely to our computer, so we can, or mobile application, it can run there. Now we have to understand Java also, team, and that's also fair enough. I will teach you Java programming and we will start learning. So that's good. Then what happens is each time I have to run my program, or rather write, edit, or run, I use command prompt or write a code like within like this, and try and execute it from here. And it is limited things that we can do through it. And then came the concept of IDE, where it said, you know what, I'll make your life easy. So human, you start writing your code here, maintaining it or editing it here, and running it here. These are the three main activities that we will keep doing. Write code, edit or manage code, execute code. So how do we go about doing it? We will see. So in this equation, now we should be clear, team. This is us. We're learning Java, with which we can write programs. And that is the JDK that we downloaded and installed. Now we're using an integrated development environment, that is our Eclipse, to help us to do things. So what do I mean? So instead of me writing code individually in a more haphazard way, we're going to do it a little bit more professionally and by using Eclipse. So for Eclipse team, again, Eclipse download or just eclipse.org. You're looking at eclipse.org team. It's primarily again another open source platform which has millions of user base. And I believe for Java as a tool, Eclipse is one of the most popular ones. So you understood this image, right, team? So Eclipse works nicely with Java. Similarly, if it came to, I'll not mess up this one too much. If it came to Python, we may use things like PyCharm and so on. So the IDE itself will keep changing depending on the programming language as well. But for Java, Eclipse is the most popular. So you basically are going to eclipse.org, and once you're in the home page, you can see the download link here and get to the latest version. Sorry, most of my time today is going into the downloads itself, team. But very critical, so please do this. And you're getting the latest one that is there here, team, the download, the 64-bit. I'm going to let it bring me that version from any of these servers or cloud links that we give. So I think here is one listed one, so we can get it immediately. Should be downloading now. Perfect. And Meanwhile, let me show you what I already have. Actually, you know what? Let's finish this. We'll go through this. So that because most of you will also be working on the same. The intent is to write a few programs every day. Discuss a need, talk about some things, we write it, you practice. Issues, let us use Skype or show it in the class. That way we can try and resolve. Any questions so far, team? I'm going to give you the link to this document so you can also rely on this in the chat. Do I have you all with me? Now, here is where I think it's giving me an installation option, team. And I have an older version, but I'm trying to get new version. If this doesn't work or messes me up for something, I'll go back. So see Eclipse IDE for Java developers. That's the first one. Then different variations. The only thing that I'll caution you, team, caution, there is an ocean out there. Be focused on what we need to do. General awareness of non-relevant or critical components is sufficient. Are you getting what I'm saying? For example, I see here during installation, oh, there are so many things here. What should I do? There's no end to it. Because when there are millions of users team across the globe, you have to give them a lot of options to do. We are focused on Eclipse IDE for Java developers. That's what we will choose. And it's going to tell me where it wants to install team. So it's saying C uses Karthik Eclipse Java 2019-2. And if you notice, it is also telling me what version of Java it is going to use. You remember we installed something? This is enough. We'll pick up the JDK if it wants. You're practicing Python more. Does it confuse you to learn new language? Yes, it will. So I wouldn't advise. I would advise you to come back and watch these videos. It's start menu entry. Okay, that's fine. Create desktop shortcut. We will need it. I'm keeping all the defaults, team. Not changing anything. I think we can live with it. Let's see. How many of you are parallelly doing the same steps and almost reaching or achieving the same results with installations? If you're watching the video, then definitely please do it. So how long have we gone the session? I don't see the time. I'm waiting for it to complete. All right, great. Good job. And anyone having issues, let me know. I wouldn't mind to make you a quick presenter. You can show what's happening in your system. We're doing this. Oh, it's taking a little time. So primarily, once it's installed, if I hit Eclipse, it will pick up the previous version. So 2019-03, that is the name of it. I believe it is the year and the month. But I'm not 100% sure. Give me 1 second, please. There was a call from Kayak. A lot of marketing calls is just popping up. I don't know whom I gave the number to. Right. So what was it saying? You'll see that out here. Let me not launch it. Let me launch the new one. It's almost there. And we are having the name 2019-12. That is the name. It's December 1. All right, I have an option. Do you trust these certificates from Eclipse Foundation? Yes, I do. Remember accepted certificates. Okay. Did it move to up? Yes. Accept selected. Done. You can work absolutely with older version of both Eclipse and Java. That's fine. As long as it works, as you keep going along, we can upgrade it. Eclipse older version is absolutely fine. Let's look at the new one. So I've just said launch. You should also see it on your desktop now. I think this is the one. Correct. Now here's the first thing that it asks us to do, team. So within Eclipse, the way it wants to work is very simple. Let me save this also. So the way Eclipse does it, very simple, team. It wants to put like a folder structure. It says, you know what? I want you to divide everything into workspaces. On each, think of this as office rooms or big tables, literally, physically, not online, where you have lot of items to do. So in Eclipse, we want to divide them into workspace. Each workspace has projects, Java projects, and each of these projects will have multiple programs. That is how it wants to divide. So the first step is to create a workspace. So Eclipse workspace, projects, and then packages later and programs is more of a hierarchy of storing. Oh, come on. Oh, sorry. It's more of a hierarchy of storing content. Java program. So I'm trying to write a little English towards it as well, team. So please bear with me for that speed. So I think it is launched. No, we are at the workspace. So it is asking me to select a workspace, team. And that is where all your files will go. So instead of doing this default one that is being given to me, let me put it into this training folder. And I think you should also all do that similar one so you know where it is and quickly can go. So I'll say this is the folder. Maybe here, I'll put code and take this folder. That becomes where then I launch Eclipse, I'll start with it. Yeah, I can use this as default. We'll do it next time and just launch. A couple of seconds and be able to start. Now, focus on what I am doing and what I am showing, team. Since it's a new place for you, I don't want you to get lost. So we'll stay focused on our job on Eclipse for today. Do a couple of things and come. And by tomorrow, I want you to, all of you to have caught up till what we did today with installation and maybe creating first project. It's launching Eclipse IDE. And so what is IDE team? Integrated Development Environment. Is Eclipse the only way through which I can write and run Java program? No. There are other free and commercial IDEs as well. Or you can do it without any IDE. IDE makes our life much simpler. Let us understand why and how. What does it do? Team, watch please. I don't want you to do anything parallelly a step ahead of me. Only till installation. Now please put everything besides you and watch. As a general thing, take notes now, team, while in the session and practice offline. Use Skype for tech issues or next live class. That will keep things simple. So let's focus on this. Now here, forget about all of this. All of this is absolutely irrelevant to us. I don't need to focus any of this. Let's scratch this off. And in fact, just go and click on this welcome. So it opens up this screen, team. And this is, I think, something by default that we will see. What is important here is to know that these are like frames. There are certain things that we will do in this section, a certain activity that we will do in this section. Something is out here and out here. Now, team, even I'm sorry. It's okay. So see, team, even a Notepad is an application. It has a menu bar, file, edit, format, view, help. Very limited features. May not be that it will do all that we want, and it's simple to use. The same I open Word, I'll see more features, more things that it can do. So applications basically can be defined on what they do, and just by that activity of what they perform, you know. And if you now look at the menu bar for Eclipse, it's a humongous one, all the way. See, and it's a large one. So I don't want you to again look at a lot of things. We're going to go through a lot of this one by one to a good extent that we need. Now, team, these are basically frames. Every developer has the option to customize it to his, her wish and say, you know what, this is how I want it to look for me. And we will do exactly the same. So the things that I do not need are this task list, this additional things that I don't require. Even this outline I will close. Now, what I am here to do is my main thing, that's the coding. So I will write my code in this white section here. So 85–90% of our training we will spend in this area itself. So now let's look at this and improve it further. Now, team, on the left side, you will see there is create a Java project, create a project, import projects. We're very simply looking at creating a Java project. I can use this option, or I can start with file, new. I'm sorry, it's not going correct. File, new, and Java project. Okay. Stay with the menu bar for some time, team, because next time we don't know if this package explorer will come with these options for you. It may have come up for the first time only. So why put ourselves in trouble for future? Let us know where it is. So I'm going to go to file, new, all the way, Java project. So everything that we will do, we will put it into a project. A project may have only one code of 2 lines or 1 line. Actually, 1 line is not possible, but or it may have hundreds of codes in it. We don't. So this, I will call this as Java March 2020. Just a name. If it has an issue with the way I write a name, maybe it will tell me. But as a general advice team, be very careful. Don't use spaces, use hyphens or underscores, and even if you could, avoid them. Now see, your whole thing will go into this folder. Let's observe that folder once. So we are in sync with how things are done. So under training for Java March 2020, I created this, and we are actually putting our Eclipse code in my code. So when I create something, you will see that getting created here too. It's not there here. Actually, I already have the name Java-March 2020. Correct, team? Why again should I give the same name? So I'll call this as project 1. Fair enough? Say finish. Now, typically, this is where it tells me where my application is going to get executed using which runtime environment. And you're taking the latest one, which is 1.8. You should all be able to see this at your end. Just check that once, please. And let us finish. Actually, let's click next. And it's primarily going to create a structure out here. And proj1, that is the folder. In that, dot settings, bin, source, class path, project. By default, you will see these files getting created. What we do is we go to this src folder and start writing code here. How do we do that? So see, as I generate things in Eclipse, you'll see what happens in the Windows Explorer. I want to say, sorry, yes. So it's all kind of empty right now. If I say finish, it's going to create this for us. And I can explore this on the left side. So if I go and explore this proj1, you'll see something called as the system library, your Java runtime environment. Again, I want you to ignore this totally, not relevant for you. Just the fact that you have multiple jar files to take care of your basic execution is critical. That's more than sufficient. Now let us go into the next one where I write the code. So see, SRC is not expandable because there's nothing in it. So out here, while I'm under SRC, I can right click on it and say new Java class or just the word class. So basically your program starts with the Java class. And I'll talk about some things like main method and so on. So if I say new Java class, and I'll say this is what 01 Java user contract. I'm not getting any further package on it. It's not letting me do. Let's start the code with a number in front. That's where you'll see a lot of syntax or restriction difference between Pythons and Java. So I need to keep them ordered. How will I keep them ordered then? J01. It's not taking underscore. Is it taking no? So J01 underscore first program. See how I'm trying to keep that names team. We'll talk about the case like camel case and so on as we go along. the importance of it. And all I'm going to do here, and that you will also do, team, is to include this public static void main. So check this and say finish. Now my first program has come here, and this is where I can edit it as well. Corresponding the same program is also there here, and you can open it as a simple Java Notepad file. See, the difference is predominantly I can see this in all black on a white background, and here I can see it with a little bit more color. And you will see the importance of what does this color mean as we keep going. But what is right now important is to be able to see if this program works or not, right? So I don't think you can see it so clearly with this internet thing screen share. So I've right clicked here. Do you see the line numbers? Some small things I'm showing you today. You can do that later just to increase the font. So right click, then to preferences. I'll click on colors and fonts. How do I know that it is here? Just by using it a few dozen times and slowly getting to remember it. Click on edit, keeping everything same, just increasing the size to maybe 16 and say okay. Say apply and close. There we go. So let us understand certain things. A program is nothing but an instruction. Code/program is an instruction. Goes from start to finish. Now, empty lines don't mean anything. They are optional. They don't get executed. Every other line must be in the right format, language, or what we call as syntax. It has to be in an accepted format. Now, for example, I'm saying this program has 10 lines. So I can delete the first line, I can delete the last line. These are empty lines. I don't have much to do with them. Now my lines are much shorter. In this program, as of the day one, I don't want you to understand anything much, except for the fact that this is the name I gave to it. There is a main class with that same name as the program. If I change this name, it will not like it. It will say there's an error. So this name has to be the class name, the same as the file name .java. So couple of times we will learn this thing. The main method is where activity starts. It's like, okay, now what do I do? So anything that you, if a line, basically comment a line with 2 slashes. Whenever you see 2 slashes, team, it basically says that anything after this is not going to get executed. Java will treat that as a comment and not a programming instruction. Now, if you notice, team, what has happened is my code has gone horizontal. So yes, as I keep adding more lines, you will notice that vertically also we will scroll. But as a general thumb rule, we will avoid horizontal scrolls as much as we can in a Java program. The reason is it makes us it almost impossible to a large extent irritating on viewing the code. So you can take it to the next line if you want. There's nothing wrong with it. So as you make changes, you could apply those changes by hitting the save button. So a few commands that are important that we will go through one after the other. But remember team, it takes a good amount of time to become decently comfortable among these. What we are doing is core and making sure that we know the most important ones. So let us save this team. And I can now execute the code. So what we have done is writing. Now we're talking about the execution portion. So if you see this green icon here, that is where we'll say, hey, you know what? You wrote a Java code. Now let us run it. You can also choose it from run and say run. So when I say run, whatever the program has to do, it will do. In this case, my program is basically doing nothing. And this is an auto-generated thing. So I will remove this to do whoever wrote from there. I don't need that code. This is my code. What do I want it to do? Okay. I will not change anything, team. See where I am. If I make a slight mistake in where these curl brackets end and so on, the program will have a problem. So when we are making the first baby steps, we will do it slowly. I will say system.out.println. I'm sorry. Now this is my program beginning. So team, please understand a couple of things into it. Okay? Listen to that, what I'm talking about. These three specific words, system.out.println, is doing one task. The task is to take whatever is there in the bracket, this blue text, and print it out here on the console screen. And you will notice that there is a semicolon. That is how Java knows that your specific line ended and moving on to the next one. And here also, this is my program ending. So I can have comments inside it or around it, does not matter. But here's how, let us assume that I put in the code. Now, this is one statement on line 3, and each Java statement needs a semicolon. This is not a statement. This is not a statement. This is the name of our class. We will speak a lot about this. And this is the name of our main method. And we'll also speak about it. Primarily, every Java function or class will have a main method. That is how we can execute. Okay, now I made changes, modifications to my earlier code. I'm going to rerun this. So see, it's saying, do you want to save and launch? If I don't save it, it is not going to reflect. So what it is doing is it compiles and executes the code in the backend. So earlier, when we did not have this print statements, it gave us nothing. But now, when I gave this text, that is what it gives me. If it is an empty line here, it is not printing. Empty line here, it is not printing. Why? Because I did not tell it to. If I say, I'm just using shortcuts, print an empty line like this, has space here, and I say print this here, and we rerun this program, then I may see some empty lines. So it is always based on what instructions I give. Java will follow you. It will follow your instructions. We need to start giving it correct instructions. Now, when we come back tomorrow, team, we will talk about variables and how we store data into it and do some exact stuff. I'm going to spend a little bit more time today in the installation as well itself. I think we'll have to let it happen as we go. Now, what is important thing is for you to catch up. Make sure you practice. If needed, watch this video 3 times, 2 times with it. This is still very beginning level, but as we keep going, finish it. Get better at it. And I'm in fact running late for the next class team. So I will take up your questions tomorrow. This video should be there later in the next couple of hours or so in the YouTube channel. You can start to take a look at it again. And I'll see you back tomorrow. Same go to webinar link. Everything will be the same team. And I'll look at if there are any questions there. Thank you, everyone. Talk to you later then. We'll see you back tomorrow and we'll continue from there.